2 questions. Number 1, are you ready to commentate some Standard?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, number 2, are you ready to do it with a distraction?
Yes.
All right, we'll see if that's true. We're just going to roll this tape here. Let's see what you think.
Ailey, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. We need to talk about Standard.
Hey, why aren't they here? Maria, come
Ailey,
on.
Shota. Shota's about to play.
Cat.
We need... Oh, okay.
Cats, look. Look.
We're doomed.
Oh.
We're doomed. That is some cute cats.
Oh,
Remember,
it was great.
Is it Prowess Boros Dragons, though, Ailey?
No, there's no cats in those decks. I don't care.
Okay.
I hope you
Dragons are
get a
just
chance
really
to go
big
see
cats.
the cats, Ailey. I hope you do, but I'm just going to pass it on over to you now, and hopefully you can keep your mind on Standard.
No.
We're
downhill
toast.
from here.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do this match. I think we might as well just send it back to Maria at the desk.
Can
right?
I go to the cats then?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I got this.
All right, we got this. What's up, everybody? Hello, and welcome to the first round of Standard for the day. The players have put their limited decks in their backpacks, and now
And their cats.
No, you don't put a cat in a backpack.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how you get in trouble, man.
Well, the
Anyway,
air
I'll
ones,
educate
they
him.
bring
Don't
to the
worry, don't
airport,
worry.
you know?
Yeah. Dragons, birds, I suppose, or otters is the case of this matchup here between one extremely, incredibly, I mean, what can you say about Shota Yasooka? Hall of Famer. He's basically done it all, and certainly plenty of members of coverage a big fan of the man. And here's a brand new Pro Tour player. How do you think he's feeling sitting in that seat up against one of the game's greats?
I mean, gotta be very intimidating, but we just looked at the previous matches that he was playing. Just beat Luis Salvato, just beat JED. I mean, at this point, he's a goat slayer, so let's see if Wentong can do it again.
Alrighty, let's see if third time's the charm here. I love this deck. I love the story behind it, where it's just like, just had some cards laying around, you know? Let's build this.
And so one big picture thing I want to kind of bring up about this match is Shota's choice of playing Elusive Otter instead of the Eddie Merck Crabs, I think could be a very big liability, actually. I think Shota is in a little bit of trouble because, well, Magma Hellkites just get to eat up Elusive Otters, and the Crabs would do a great job of slowing down these big dragons. So let's see if that comes up.
Let's see if that plays into this matchup at all as we kick things off here with Sarkhan on Wentong's side of things up against an Elusive Otter. And Slickshot show off.
And it's going to come up right now. I would imagine Wentong has the ability to just warp in a Nova Hellkite right now to deal with a Nova Hellkite. Maybe you save it for next turn as well, but yeah, we kind of are already going to be seeing it.
Let's see what he's got here for us. Momo, Friendly Fire in hand, Nova Hellkite, Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest, and Clarion Conqueror. So on every point of the curve, we've certainly got something going here. The discount coming from our honorary dragon in our Lemur Bat ally, Momo, Friendly Fire. Here comes Nova Hellkite, and there goes an Elusive Otter.
Yeah, and that was a huge exchange already. You know, most of the time, if you can just play an op, sleight of hand from Shota to set up your turn, or better yet, have a removal spell for Sarkhan, that would have been better, but you play with what you got, and getting the prowess creatures down first is exactly what you want to do with these Izzet decks.
Shota kicking things off here. I'm going to take a look at the top of the deck. Getting some pumps on this here critter.
Okay, that was another Slickshot show-off, and this is great. This is going to be 5, maybe 7 damage from Slickshot, but not necessarily huge, as we have Nova Hellkite, we have Dragonhawk that can come down next turn.
Clarion Conqueror, not maybe the best in this matchup. Definitely looking at that Dragonhawk Fate's Tempest. Is Wentong interested in blocking here?
Yeah, probably siding out Clarion Conqueror, I would imagine, as all it does on the battlefield here so far is shut down his own treasure. So that's not great.
One more spell to add to the power here. So 7 Wentong takes down to 12. And Shota getting in the damage while he can.
Yeah, and we have a gigantic attack. Wow, that is another Nova Hellkite. So we're not too far away from Wentong just winning the game. It looks like we're able to set it up for next turn already to go for the win. So it's just, as long as you don't die to a bunch of Slickshot show-offs from Shota, you're going to be doing just fine.
Okay, so we didn't have lethal there with Momo getting the pump as well, and Sarkhan.
Nope, it was
getting
close.
+1/+1.
Close, but not quite there.
0.4, 5, 6. Yeah, it would have been 11. Okay.
Yep, very close, but I mean, now what? This is a gigantic attack already. 9, 10, 11. What is this already? 12?
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, with 2 dragons coming in. Crikey. Could he?
9. Okay, hold.
Yep.
9? Okay.
Here we go.
Just 9. Leaves back the Momo just in case that Clarion Conqueror would die. You have that emergency blocker, and getting Shota down to 4 or 5, or excuse me, down to 4 or 2 is kind of the same. The Nova Hellkite's going to be able to finish the game off next turn anyways.
Yep. Having those impending critters on the side there just waiting to come in here. I mean, Shota's very much on the back foot here. Flow state, trying to find something to clear out these creatures, and you know, it's now or never. And it is
it's never. It's indeed never.
Sweet.
Wow.
All right, Wentong looking nonplussed by being on the big stage here in the feature match area up against one of the game's greatest players,
Yeah,
Shota Yasooka.
absolutely. And that was just the classic being on the play, having a nice curve out. And this Boros Dragons deck is definitely really meant to be taking advantage of Cub decks. So we haven't seen a lot because, well, you know, the rhythm decks are not really that played. So you kind of would think the anti-rhythm deck wouldn't be that played as well. But you know, like Wentong was saying in the survey, qualify with it, keep playing it. You know your deck, it got you this far, and you're just beating fantastic world caliber players round after round. Might as well keep it going.
Yeah. And also, you know, we saw the win rates from day one. You know, the biggest, baddest decks in the room didn't have a great time about it. You know, 50% win rate for Is It Prowess.
Yeah.
Landfall decks were doing superbly well. And then, you know, these little fringe decks, some of them having an excellent time of it. You know, Boros Dragons being one of them. Mardu Discard also having an excellent day yesterday. So.
Yeah, that is really interesting. You know, I mean, the most played deck, when you have such a large percentage of the metagame, it makes sense that it's going to be closer to 50%. It's when you have one of those decks that's so played and it gets to like 60%, 65%, then it seems like maybe it's too good. But definitely Is It Prowess, not necessarily proving to be too powerful.
Altars aplenty here for Shota, also able to take care of Sarkhan before he gets out of reach of that Burst Lightning. Dragon name now.
Yeah, and let's see if there's another Nova Hellkite to threaten these, but nope, just another dragon. Magmatic Hellkite looks great as well.
Kevin of Souls, I believe. Magmatic's the one that blows up a land and then comes in with a stun counter on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think Shota's already short on mana. We might not have another land already, and man, the big butts of these dragons, 5 toughness is very tough to deal with. I think we have Seer. And no land, so Shota just has to ship back and top decks another horse. And
that Hellkite doing work here for Wentong.
yeah, wow, this is kind of a beating.
Also, Voice of Victory, one of the best cards up against a deck of this style. You know, the ones that want to play instant speed, want to play on your turn. Voice of Victory just says, nah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, it really lines up for the fact that, let's say we have a Magma Hellkite for next turn, you get to guarantee that these otters are not going to get a power or toughness boost. Which will be huge. And looks like an opt to the bottom and finds a 4-drop. So some rounds are just not for you, that's for sure.
Mani's going to be devastated.
Yup. And this is kind of a, this is trying to get Wentong essentially, like say, do you want to block with your 1/3 on my 2/2s? And then Shota has the Burst Lightning for the face. But looks like Wentong did not fall for it. So this will be 8 damage.
Down to 10 he goes. Lots to follow up here, but definitely needs a land, does Shota. Royal Crackling Wit, Colorstorm Stallion ×2, and a Seer to try and stave off this offense here from Wentong. Another land drawn, get lost, Twin More Stormbreed, Burst Lightning, and Multiversal Passage in hand.
No Nova Hellkite. That's definitely the worst case scenario card for Shota. But being able to just cast Charring Bite looks pretty solid. Deal with a creature. I believe there was a Burst Lightning as well to deal with the other otter. And then, well, you just get to attack for 7. Or, yeah, even leaving up Get Lost here seems better because you can attack for 7, Get Lost a threat. That looks scary. And then the following turn, attack for 7, Burst Lightning for the win.
7.
Nice.
8.
Voice of Victory bringing its buddies along. They'll disappear at the end of the round, or end of the turn, get lost on the little guy. What did he do wrong?
Yeah, right? And now with a couple of maps, it's going to be so... Just top deck a 3-drop as well. This was just unreal bad luck and just an absolute clinic.
What a dismantling there. Wentong Zhang just killing every single professional player in his path.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job of it. He's looking and saying, you know what, I don't want to lose again. I want to get to the top 8, friends. That would be wonderful.
First Pro Tour, you just beat Luis Salvato into John Emmanuel Duprat, into Shota Yasooka. That's pretty impressive. You got to be feeling pretty good about yourself, so big congrats.
All right, friends, let's jump into another feature match. That one was over before you could say Secrets of Strixhaven. Victor Santos Esquici up against Bryan Rockenbach now. We've got Demir Excruciator, haven't seen this deck in a hot minute, versus Mono Green Landfall, the deck of the tournament, I'm going to predict.
Yeah, Mono Green Landfall, or better yet, Celestial Landfall kind of had the best win rate so far, but yeah, Landfall is looking really, really good. I will say the Demir Excruciator decks have a pretty solid matchup against Landfall. The clock is usually fast enough. The Excruciator, they can't do too much about if you get the Superior Spider-Man down. And then there's some good answers in the form of Requiting Hex, Day of the Black Sun. We even have some duresses for the Earthbender Ascension, so looks pretty solid from Victor.
Can we start? Yes.
You may start. Thank you. We are here now. They waited just for us.
That is so nice of them.
Gosh. Kicking things off here.
Good, Marcus?
Ooh, hi. Look at that. Emeritus of Ideation in hand.
To be fair, I'd believe it that they were just about ready. They were still shuffling up when the Shota match ended, you know.
Yeah, I would
could be
believe it,
true.
yeah. Goodness me. Deceit down now. Black. Take a look at the hand and get something out of there. 2 cubbies.
Yep.
Oh, no, just the 1 cub and the
Earthbender and then the
Ascension.
Ice Still. I mean, just pretty much an ideal hand. You know, taking the cub does slow it down quite a bit, but you got something all along the curve at 1, 2, 3, 4. This is kind of what Mono Green Landfall is trying to do. So it'll be a big draw from Bryan here. If we can draw Llanowar Elf would be great, Badger Mole Cub, anything to cast, but doesn't look like we found
trigger.
it.
Fetch, tap, trigger.
18. Trigger, get this little guy in for 2. There's a lot of birds in Standard, eh?
Yeah, a lot of birds. To be fair, chocobos, you know, don't really fly. You know, that's some Final Fantasy lore. But bird, hey, yeah, all right.
They're basically an ostrich.
Yeah, they really are.
Have you ever met an ostrich?
I have not. No.
They are unpleasant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Really selling it. I guess I won't try to meet any of them soon.
No. Here we see another Deceit. Good grief. All right. Well, thankfully, there's 2 Earthbender Ascensions in hand for Bryan.
So these players are at 8 and 3. So to be able to just make the top 8 straight away without having to worry about tiebreakers, they have to win out. So 4-0 straight into the top 8. You get that. You go 4 and 1. You still have a solid chance at it, but this is one of the larger Pro Tours, so you don't want to leave that to chance.
Give us a little behind-the-scenes look at top 8 announcements. What happened at the end of the last one?
Yeah. That was exciting.
Oh, you're not going to tell us? All right. Well, Christopher Larson is backstage with the other players who are potentially in the top 8. And they're like, we want to sweat it out. Don't tell us who's actually in 8.
Yes.
And they stood there and they waited, and then they called him as 8th position, I believe.
Yep.
And then he went on to win the whole thing. So that was
Chris loves a good sweat, that's for sure.
What a guy. Winter Night Stories here now for Victor Santos Esquici.
This definitely feels like Victor's got to start getting it going. Now these kind of very impactful spells are going to start piling up. Saz's Chocobo is going to get out of hand, so Victor wants to find one of 2 things. Get the Doomsday Excruciator into the yard and find Requiting Hex here for this Saz's Chocobo right now would be the 2 main things that we're looking for.
Yeah, playing 4 of in the main deck. Bitter Triumph is also an option. There's a Strategic Betrayal. So plenty of removal. Just needs to find it now.
Yeah.
There's a Bitter Triumph.
Yeah, found it, but we already played our land, so we're not able to just play a removal spell there. So Victor might be just a little too far behind here without a requiting hex.
Yeah. Emeritus of Ideation in the yard, one of the prime targets for Superior Spider-Man.
And that would be great next turn, Superior Spider-Man plus Ancestral Recall, but just not enough to survive.
Yeah, and no one-shot
Bryan,
kill available right now, right? From Bryan. It's another Earthbender Ascension.
Yeah, Earthbender Ascension
Right.
plus a fetch land. Like, this is definitely getting close, as you're going to get one counter up to 2 here with the normal Earthbender Ascension. So, and then the Fabled Passage is going to turn on one of the Earthbender Ascension.
Yep.
So that is going to put Saz's Chocobo up 3 more power. That's 7-11. So it doesn't look like the win at this moment. It's going to be 12 or so.
Yeah, we need 4 counters on our Earthbender Ascensions. It's almost there, and it will be there
This is
now.
13 damage with the Royal Treatment, it looks like.
Grief.
But you definitely don't want to proactively play that Royal Treatment.
Yeah. Jeez, what a spot to be in, huh?
Yeah, looks great. And, you know, the one thing that Bryan does have to be pretty concerned about is Day of the Black Sun.
Yeah.
But if that does come down, you do have Bossing Say to give your creature haste. So it's looking pretty difficult here for Victor to be able to stabilize.
Duress off the top of the library, staring down 2 massive creatures that are just going to get bigger, courtesy of that Fabled Passage and whatever other lands Bryan may have. Let's take a look in the hand.
Yeah, and Bryan has the option to fire this off now instead of discard it, but you got to crack your Fabled Passage.
I think he just lets it go, right?
I would think so as well.
Because this is basically Victor clearing the way for a removal spell.
Yeah, because both your threats are already lethal, so the only thing that it really prevents is sorcery speed targeted removal, in which there are none.
Sure.
So it doesn't really stop anything right now, so I think Bryan should just let it go.
Yeah. Do his best Elsa impersonation and let it go.
Yeah. I guess Deceit to bounce something is something that it would play around, but bouncing one of the threats, well,
Well, yeah, he's got that and Bit of Triumph, so this is working out really nicely here.
But even if you do Royal Treatment, whatever one you target, you Bitter Triumph that one, and then you defeat the other, so it kind of wouldn't matter. Now all Bryan has to do is present 2 4-power threats, in which I think he can do that. Just Bossing Say on a land.
Response.
Hey, buddy. Decides that's not what he'd like to do.
Discard.
So discarding, not losing the life, because that would be owie. But a Triumph will take care of the land
Float a
here.
green.
Floats a green in response.
Comes back, trigger all of these. So 4, this will get 1 counter.
No, I'm responding.
Oh,
This is on
you're
this
right,
deck.
you're right. Okay, you're right. So counter there.
Yeah, I don't know about that timing, as now you get to float the mana, the
You can
land.
still animate a land, right?
Yeah, you can animate.
Because you got the green floating.
Triggers.
Interesting.
This gets a counter there. This goes up to 5 and 4. This will get 2 more counters.
Yeah.
And then Bossing Say land.
Yeah. Then you can Bossing Say. I think we had lethal here, but I don't think Bryan has it anymore.
So it's 4
If we just
Bossing
didn't
Say.
play
Yeah.
Saz's Chocobo, we just Bossing Say on a land, play a land, put a counter onto that new land, and then crack Fabled Passage to put 2 more counters on it. You'd be attacking with a 4/4 and a 5/5 land. Bitter Triumph kills one of them, and then you win the game. But maybe I'm missing something here on that.
Big things here for Bryan. Not too sure what he drew. We did see 1 land in hand, though.
I think it's an Esper Origins as well as the other card.
Okay.
Yeah, I think playing the Saz's Chocobo was not needed, because now we're just 1 mana
Yeah,
short.
yeah.
And I hear the sigh from Bryan.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
figured it
that's-
out, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll touch.
Rough. But the bird is always tempting, you know? It's
The
just so
bird's
cute.
tempting.
Triggers. 3 more counters here.
And now you can at least animate one of the lands, attack for 2, and then you're still putting Victor in a pretty rough spot
Activate the bossing say on this
for
one.
next
Attack
turn.
for 2. 2. Go ahead.
Unfortunate little misstep there from Bryan. Victor
Yeah.
gets one more chance to stay in this match.
Still 3 lethal attackers are going to be coming down from Bryan's side, so it's still going to be tough for Victor, but
Yeah.
the Dimir deck plays so much removal, has so many big threats, that giving them an extra turn, definitely not ideal. Something like play a Superior Spider-Man and then requiting Hex to gain some life.
Yeah.
That could be good. But if we didn't have Requiting Hex last turn, we probably do not have it now. There is Superior Spider-Man.
Ooh, okay.
So worst case, Victor can go Superior Spider-Man, Ancestral Recall, and then try to find Requiting Hex.
Yeah. Worst case scenario.
Yeah. And then I think that would keep him alive, but has to find it. There we go. I love that we get to actually use that as that card is about to get cast.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Goes
Mouse
for
this
Deceit. Because he gets both modes if you paid blue, blue, black, black.
Yeah, but I don't think Victor has any other cards in hand, so then you just automatically die to Bossing Say here. We must have other cards, otherwise that wouldn't make any sense.
You're 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, into Winter Night Stories. Okay.
Yeah, but that taps down your blocker.
Yeah.
And now if you find Requiting Hex, you still do get to stay alive, but Ancestral Recall would have kind of did the same, except you didn't get to look at the hand.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, very strange game.
That was a bit odd, yeah, but tis what it is. On to game 2 here. And Landfall looking pretty good here up against these controlling archetypes.
Yep, and then post-board, some stuff that comes in from Victor. One thing that is very spicy is the end comes in.
Oh, yeah.
And if Bryan ever animates a forest and you the end on forest, that's always a play that is very excellent against these landfall decks.
Did we see that the last Pro Tour, I think?
Yeah, we've
that
seen that a
was
few
so
times,
good.
yep.
It's like, oh, you're a mono green deck?
Yeah.
How do you do without lands?
There's the card
Hex.
we really need in this matchup.
Oh,
Requiting
yeah.
Hex is that important.
Yep, keep all those little idiots at bay. Take a look in the hand once again for Deceit. What do you like taking here, Corey?
Let's see. So you can take the Llanowar Alpha as that's the only card that you can cast next turn, and it does ramp you. But Sirach is such a difficult card to deal with from these Dimir decks. I think you have to take that. But then again, honestly, the Earthbender Ascension is rough too. So
Yeah.
mine would be between Earthbender and Sirach for sure. But I think the bigger problem here is there's no other lands in Victor's hands, and we just have swamps. So I think no matter what, Victor's going to have to top deck a land to play what looks like Winter Night Stories to discard that to Doomsday Excruciator. And if you can't find that, you're going to be in a lot of trouble anyways.
Yeah, I think he's got an easier time answering a creature than he does answering Earthbender Ascension. So
Yeah.
I think he's leaning more towards that.
Yeah, and the one thing is you can deal with Sirach decently easy with Strategic Betrayal.
Yeah, yeah, without having to target it and give your opponent a card.
Exactly, but that's if they're left in. Strategic Betrayal is not that good against
Yeah.
Mono Green Landfall.
All right, so Earthbender Ascension gets to stay. Surak hits the graveyard, excuse me, and the turn passes back to Bryan.
Saz's Chocobo was the pickup for Bryan, so now the choice of playing Saz's Chocobo and then a land to just get that bigger, or Llanowar Elf to guarantee that you can actually play a 3-drop next turn. Big draw step, and that did not look like a land to me. Yeah.
That sure is not a land. It's Winter Night Stories, I believe. Number 2, or
Yep.
that one wasn't in hand already?
Looks
Or is it just two
like
different
it.
versions?
I think it's two different versions.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
the promo, one the regular, then Doomsday Excruciator, and I want to say that is a Deadly Cover-Up as that third card. Which those are all expensive and not black cards. So Victor's still having the same problem. Needs a Watery Grave or a Verge off the top pretty badly.
Double birdies. Ho, 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 ho.
Ooh,
Cheap,
I
cheap.
think that was Day of the Black Sun.
Oh,
Those birds are just big enough to avoid that.
Oh, that sucks. Lands, where are you?
Yeah.
They've been misbehaving today, huh?
Yeah, yep. And, you know, I totally get it. Victor was on the play, so it is brutal to keep a 2-lander without blue mana.
Color, yeah.
But when you have Requiting Hex into Deceit, that's such a good start. You have a couple draw steps to be able to get it. So I like the risk, to be honest.
Get a
But
land, triple.
just sometimes it doesn't pay off.
Thank you. 3.
But a land off the top, if it was indeed Day of the Black Sun, being able to clean up the Saz's Chocobo as well as the land, that is
I
huge.
don't actually know what I drew.
Now, Day of the Black Sun stops firebending, but it does not stop the earthbending lands from coming back. It's good lore from Avatar, but also how the cards work.
Well, thank you for that.
Yep.
Astute.
Oh, and nothing.
Oh, what
for
happened?
Victor. Just
Nothing?
no lands.
Aye.
Looks to be, man, kind of 2 non-matches here
Yeah.
in our feature match area here for round 12.
It's real rough for Victor for sure. Just couldn't get anything going for him here in this matchup.
Yep.
Might form Harmonizer, land, doubling the power. This thing is huge.
Yeah, you get to trigger it, stack it correctly where it goes to 4, and then you double it.
Yeah.
So that's 8, 12, 14 damage. That's
That's enough.
just enough, Ailey.
Yep. No removal in hand here. Oh, one thing. Okay, all right.
That's huge. Now the problem is a land off the top. Day of the Black Sun doesn't deal with Harmonizer. Oh, it was warped.
warped,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. All right, so
Maybe,
land off the
maybe.
top.
There's
Day
still
of
a
the Black
chance.
Sun is still good, but this is
Land.
the last
7.
opportunity.
On board 4, 6, 7. Yeah.
Bryan is hellbent. This is only 7, but any land, any Earthbender Ascension, Ice Till Explorer, Badger Mole Cub, Royal Treatment. Those are all outs to win the game next turn, and that's quite a lot of them.
Plenty of ways for Bryan to pick up a clean 2-0 here up against Victor Santos Esquici in round number 12 of our Pro Tour friends. So let's see if he's found anything to do here. I'm going to guess not.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe just thinking about Day of the Black Sun for 0 to just deal with the 2/2 land.
Sure.
The problem is that only saves you 1 point. It saves you 1 point because the land comes back. Saz's Chocobo goes up to 5, and then any land is still lethal, so it
Yeah.
just doesn't actually do anything.
Man, rough matchup here for Victor. Got to feel for it.
Royal Treatment off the top, that is lethal, but it's if you want to go for it. Because if you go to Royal Treatment on Llanowar Elf and then Saz's Chocobo gets destroyed by a Requiting Hex or something, then it's kind of a blow up. But you got to put yourself in the shoes of what Victor would do. I would play it too, because if Victor had a removal spell, he would have played it already.
Yep.
So I would think it's impossible for Victor to have a removal spell right now.
Yep, and that's going to do it. So congratulations to Bryan Rockenbach, improving his record to 9-3. 3 more to go. Let's lock up that top 8. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, still live, and then of course Victor can still win the last 4, but then you got to hope for the best for the tiebreakers, as you need those 12 wins before that last round to lock it up.
Super important to make sure that you get those 12 wins. You don't want to be sweating it out in the final round of this tournament. That
Unless
is
you're
for
Chris.
sure. Unless you're Christopher
Yeah.
Larson. The guy likes these things, all right?
Yes,
What can I say? We got more Magic for you, friends, so let's jump straight into it. Joining Andy Garcia-Romo up against George Berrett, Azorius Momo, probably one of my favorite decks. I think this list is
Same.
sweet. Up against, I'm going to call this the big bad of the format now, Mono Green Landfall. It's having a great time of it, and it's absolutely crushing it. So
Yeah.
let's jump in here. Match in progress, where Andy Garcia-Romo has taken the first game. So,
Yep.
in the lead with Mono Green.
And Andy was so close to being the one representative from Team the Boulder at this last
Yeah,
Pro
he
Tour that
was.
was going to make it with that Is It Spelementals list, but just lost that last round and wasn't able to make it. So Andy on that fantastic team of the Boulder Mare Lion, as well as up against George,
Yeah.
who's playing his very first Pro Tour.
Welcome, George.
Yeah.
8-3. Excellent stuff. 10 wins requalifies you for the next Pro
Yep.
Tour. So, that's kind of like the first little hurdle to get over. And then start looking at, okay, cool. 12 wins could be possible. Let's go for it.
And this Azorius Momo deck, we haven't seen a ton of it on coverage here, but what it's really trying to do, it's very good against the prowess decks, or at least pretty solid against it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of teams were playing it and, you know, wanted to submit it. Esquici was one of them who was so close to playing it, but just couldn't figure out a couple of the matchups and decided to switch off of it. But very good against prowess, as you can play Sage of the Skies, which is great at blocking these slick shot show-offs, but can struggle a bit against Landfall, Elementals, Jeskai Control, some of the decks that kind of attack it in a different way.
Starfield Shepherd. Excellent card, able to go and find the hero of the deck and the hero of Avatar, The Last Airbender.
There you
I would
go.
say.
Momo really is phenomenal. You know, one of the best one drops that we've seen in a long time. You know, it does kind of the same thing that a Llanowar Elf would do, as it does do the ramping, but it also attacks pretty hard. And the only problem with it is it has the deck restriction of, well, you got to play a lot of flyers. You got to make that stuff work.
But flyers are great.
Flyers are great.
Yeah.
That's true.
We've seen plenty of people killed in the air here, so.
Yep.
Little Chocobo getting in. 1 point of damage to George. It's going to be on damage control here, to a degree.
So it looks like a couple Seam Rips, as well as Quantum Riddler in hand, as well as some other hits there. So has the option of just, let's say, play Momo, Seam Rip both your 1-drops, and go from there. The one thing that's great about these Azorius Momo decks is, well, it's a Riddler deck, and that just means you get paid off by trying to get all the cards out of your hand, as Riddler just restocks you right away.
Yeah, you can mulligan pretty aggressively with this deck too, which is super sweet. You know, I love the inclusion of Daydream in these kinds of lists, just to be able to flicker out like either this or Starfield Shepherd.
Exactly.
So lots of options for this list.
The other time we've been seeing that is those kind of Blink style decks that we saw like Michael Plummer take 9th with at Worlds.
Splash Portal type thing.
Exactly, Splash Portal for Quantum Riddlers, but since then that deck has very much fallen off.
Seam Rip taking care of the little mana dork there, so Llanowar Elves no longer a problem. Saja's Chocobo, still small. Not for long.
And next turn, both of those 5-mana warp creatures are online, so could just play land 4 and warp it out thanks to Momo.
Yep.
There's also the Cosmogrand, so George is definitely trying to line up Cosmogrand spell.
Oh, yes, I love Cosmogrand Zenith.
Yeah, a very good card.
So good. And it's so pretty, too.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh,
it's
he's
just
still my beating heart.
Yes, it's just not at the best spot when it's making ground creatures, when there's so many things in the air with Slick Shot Show Off and stuff, but an incredibly powerful card, and it's going to look pretty good here.
But you don't need to worry about blocking in the air if you are the aggressor.
Hey, touche. Math is for the blockers. So does have that available right now. Can go Cosmogrand Zenith and then Seam Rip on the Saz's Chocobo, and that looks like a great play. Playing either of the big 5-drop flyers looks great, so George has a plethora of awesome options here.
Holding down the 4 chair extremely well up against the big beater deck of the format. Andy Garcia-Romo deciding what he wants to do here with this turn.
Yeah, and Andy Garcia-Romo made that big kind of breakout performance by top 8ing PT Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's right.
Catapulted his career, and then he has just been very consistent over and over at these Pro Tours. So been very fun to watch, and he's just also one of the nicest guys you can have.
Super happy all the time. Cosmogrand Zenith hits the board here into Seam Rip. Second spell of the turn triggers.
2 soldiers.
And 2 soldiers. We'll join Momo.
Good battlefield here. Something that Andy really needs is something like Ice Till Explorer, Escape Tunnel, something to just supercharge one of these forests. It's got to be time for one of those big spells here. So far, Andy Garcia-Romo has just kind of played the middling ground of the creatures, but I do see a Moss Hydra, Teamer Harmonizer, and Fabled Passage in hand, so, and as well as some other cards. So Andy's got the goods. And the Hydra is actually pretty tough for George to deal with. Just the fact that it costs 3. So, you know, there's usually some get lost, stuff like that, but not a ton of removal for that card, and that is one of the few reasons why the Mono Green Landfall deck has a pretty good matchup against Momo.
Yeah, Mossborn Hydra, if it gets to stick around, well, you're not going to stick around for much longer.
Yeah.
So let's see if George has a way to deal with that.
I lose to that card so often.
Yeah. I feel it for you, man. There is a lone copy of Aang Swift Savior in there that could jump in and clean things up, but, you know, besides that, Parting Gust, I guess?
Yeah, that is just not much. And that is kind of the problem with the Momo decks just structurally. That's kind of the problem with these Riddler and Momo decks is, well, you have to play proactive things. You can't be too reactive as your deck just is not a cohesive, it doesn't have a cohesive plan, so.
Yeah. You know, if you spend too much time worrying about what your opponent's doing, you're playing to the board, developing your own game plan.
Exactly. There is one Get Lost in the board that probably came in, but nothing too exciting there, as well as the Avatar's Wrath, if we do have one of those.
Yeah.
Sapling Nursery and Teamer Harmonizer are the last two cards for Andy, so still plenty of gas in the tank.
Sapling Nursery's been a fun card to see in the mono green shells.
Yeah. Now you got to feel if George just tries to tap out to play a Shepherd or a Riddler or something, which looks very tempting.
Yeah.
Might be the last turn of this match.
It could well be. You know, you definitely don't want to be your shields down entirely against this deck. It can kill you out of nowhere.
Especially with the Harmonizer. We only have the Fabled Passage, so it's not another land, but if you draw a Fabled Passage off the top, warp in Harmonizer, and then you get 3 land drops plus 2 activations from the Earthbender Ascension. I mean, I can't count that high, so.
No, me neither. That's why we let the players do that.
Exactly. All right, well, I guess I'll try. You can stack it for the Earthbender Ascension, where you would get 2 counters onto the Hydra, and then it would be 6 doubles. That's probably enough.
Yeah. I don't have that enough fingers.
Exactly. So now we'll see what kind of good 1-drops we can find. And it's like, it's not a lot of, you know, any real ways to deal with creatures. It's all value stuff. Pixie to be able to pick up your Shepherd, trigger Cosmogran, that kind of stuff is all fine and good, but not dealing with the biggest problem, which is the Hydra.
Yeah. Pixie brought to hand there off of the Shepherd. That's a cool version of that card.
Yeah.
Be able to promo something from LGS. Pretty.
Pixie, trigger the Zenith.
Yep.
Okay.
Pixie Zenith. We're going to put some counters on things. Okay.
Has the option of like picking up a Seam Rip to replay that, but you're not really, you know, solving any problems that really matter.
This was tracking the memo pumps?
Yes.
So it's up to 2.
Yeah.
So many things to keep track of.
Yeah.
Okay, there is an Aang.
Okay.
That is
we haven't played a flyer yet, right? Or did we?
I believe we did. We played the Pixies. That doesn't get the cost reduction yet, but you can always just say go and have Aang interact on Andy's turn. That would be great.
Does he have 3 mana available though?
But you can.
It's during your turn.
Oh, it's
right?
during your turn only. Okay, so yeah, if we don't have land 5, you know, George is shields down. So
Yeah.
Ooh.
I found that out the hard way where I was like, haha, I can flash this in. Oh, it doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, Momo not being able to help out Aang, that's a bit of a flavor fail, but we'll address that later. I think that was a forest off the top for Andy.
Is it time?
So if that's the case, you can play a forest. You can sack Fabled Passage. You probably warp out a Harmonizer first. Stack it so the Earthbender Ascension will put 1 counter on the Hydra, and then you'll have 4 doubles. So it will be 3 to 6 to 12 to 24 to 48. That's
I don't think he's got 36 toughness on that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I believe this is 48 power attacking in with Hydra here, but
No, we went Sapling Nursery instead.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
We wanted the fireworks, and we just got the fizzle.
Hey, I mean, that is probably better for Andy because the Disdainful Stroke there would have been able to deal with the Harmonizer as well.
Yeah, true.
So getting the Nursery countered here, I do think is better for Andy than losing the Harmonizer.
Yeah.
So now we'll just see if Andy wants to play the Forest here or hold it.
Because, yeah, I don't think we'll be attacking, because the creatures available right now would kill the Hydra. Is Andy dead on the crackback here?
That is a good
Double
question.
will resolve last. I'll get a counter here. In response to the double, I'll fish.
So here's the way that you can stack
Yeah.
it. So you can put the 2 doubles behind. So now we'll get to 3 power
This one first.
and have trample. I mean, it already does, but
Yeah.
now double.
Because while he's doing that, all right, we've got the Shepherd who can go fetch a 1-drop, so there's 2 spells already for the Zenith. Like, that's on-board trouble
Yeah.
for Andy Garcia-Romo.
This is a lethal attacker that would be coming in.
Okay,
so
so
it
we
just
do have to
demands 1 block, but that's it. So yeah, just blocking with a 2/2, and then we do the math. Can we have a crackback for the win from George? Probably.
I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 14? I think I'm counting 14.
If Hydra attacked,
Yeah.
yeah, but it looks like if Hydra stays back, you can block the Cosmogran, and then you just take the other 4 creatures.
Yeah.
And the other 4 creatures would get up to 3 power, so that would be 12 coming back. So
Yeah.
I think Hydra has to stay home.
Because Momo gets every time a flying creature enters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that would be lethal then if he attacks him.
Yeah.
Definitely kill me in the crackback. Okay. Well, I guess I have to block.
Yep, that's exactly the math that we did. Hydra has to hold back for Cosmogrand, because if Andy attacked, you would just throw a 2/2 in front.
Yeah. Go fetch a 1-drop, get the trigger on Cosmogrand Zenith. This is still a very big attack coming in.
Yeah, this still might be lethal, because this is 9 from the ground creatures, and then Momo's already 3, so that would be 12. And then if you just keep picking up Shepherd,
Blood play it again.
yeah.
Play it twice, I mean. What did he fetch? The
Hang.
Oh.
And
oh,
Ang
yeah.
to
Hang.
remove a
Duh.
blocker is definitely going to be enough.
Count on everything.
We completely forgot Ang was there.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
I was doing the math with just the
Yeah.
picking up Shepherd over and over, but yeah, that should be enough and force a game 3.
Sorry, chat. Yes, they're probably shouting at us. Nice. All right, so a game apiece for both players here. George Berrett picking up a pretty sweet victory there.
Yeah,
With
that was
the Azorius Momo deck.
really sweet. And warping in the Harmonizer or anything for Andy still wouldn't have worked, as the Disdainful Stroke would have been able to still counter that. So George kind of had all the answers there.
Yeah.
So well played.
Delta start of game 3.
Andy with a hand of 7, George Malta 6. Sergeant Chocobo to kick things off here in the 3rd and final game between these 2 players. Springleaf, oh yeah.
Oh, looks like a one-lander keep
let's
from
go.
George. I'm here for it.
Ballsy, love it.
It is not the absolute worst because George does have the ability to go Momo, tap Momo with the drum, and then warp out a Shepherd to go get a land,
Yep.
or warp in a Riddler. So still has a nice turn here, but
Yeah.
did not naturally draw land too.
But you see, Momo, the hero we all need, able to help us out.
Momo and drum is quite the combo, that's
Yeah.
for sure. It gets going pretty quickly.
Oh, the basics game of the players that we've seen in the feature match area, they've just made me so happy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I like
beautiful
Andy's
lines.
as well, but George's are my actual favorite. So we'll see if George has anything to do with the 1 extra mana. A Pixie here would be great, picking up Shepherd. As great as Shepherd is, you definitely don't really want it in Warp. You almost never have time to pay a 4
Yeah.
or a 5 mana, 3/2 flyer. It's all about the Warp for the Shepherd.
I haven't seen Daydream one, so I don't know if we'll see it now. This might be both games of post-board might have come out.
Yeah, definitely possible. I would imagine it's still in, and it would be the perfect time to draw it, as you
Yeah.
could warp out the Riddler and Daydream it. But George needs a big turn here, as Andy's start has been very fast, and another non-land. Couple Angs, the Quantum
Uh-oh,
Riddler, and a
Spaghetti-O.
couple Avatar's Wrath. So hand is not very good.
Very clunky.
Yeah. So I think George has the option here. Do I play it safe and just say go, flash in an Ang, interact on Andy's turn, which is what he's going to do,
agrees.
or try to risk it, get a Quantum Riddler out, try to find a blue source, and then be able to do that as well. I like the conservative play.
Yeah. Momo does get the buff on that on the opponent's turn, which is handy.
Yep. But looks like Andy's hand is quite good. I see Ice Till Explorer.
So Mindful, Harmonizer.
Yeah, Harmonizer, Bossing Say. Plethora of options here so far from Andy. And that's the problem with this matchup is the Azorius Momo deck doesn't pressure that well without Cosmogram. And Andy will eventually deploy these cards, even if Aang airbends out one of these big threats. You're just like, okay, now next turn, I'll play 2 big threats because one of them only costs 2.
Get rid of the
Blue,
bird.
white.
Make it hurt.
Yep, yep.
Blue, white. Switch safe.
Yeah, if you airbend out Saz's Chocobo and Andy just gets to go Might Form Harmonizer, turn that forest into, you know, a 4 or 5 power creature, and make 4 land drops, that's pretty bad news as well, so.
All good? Yes. All good.
Andy just checking the wording on Aang Swift Savior.
Andy definitely has it on the radar.
Oh, yeah.
So something Andy could do is like Warp Harmonizer, threaten just a really large attack, and if that were to get airbent, well, then it costs 2 mana to just put into play next turn.
I still explore.
It feels like you have to do
Yeah.
that.
Die still. So this is airbend.
Aang sends the Ice Till away.
Airbend.
No one knows yet if it's airbent or airbended.
I think I recall official documents saying airbended.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
I have 3 cards.
So a nice attack for 5, and George, I feel, really needs a land here. Avatar's Wrath would look okay.
ugh,
Still not amazing by any means, but doesn't look like we found a land.
that disdainful stroke you picked up.
And these Momo decks definitely do not play a ton of land. They definitely cheat on lands a little bit, as you got to play drums, you got to play Momo, which costs Redux.
Yep. Starfield Shepherd finds you lands.
So I definitely stand by the keep from George. It just has not really materialized.
Here we go. We're going to go blue for the Riddler. It's going to draw Daydream. We're going to flicker that out, and it's going to be all fine.
Okay.
You'll see. You'll see.
You are dreaming, huh?
Maybe. I'm still thinking about those cats, man.
And I'm honestly proud of you that you
Oh, thank you.
You have gotten fully into this
I've
match
kept it mostly together. Yeah.
with how Maria just really tricked you there and distracted you at the beginning.
I'm just mad she didn't take me with her.
yeah.
Is that a Daydream?
That was the 3rd Avatar's
Ah,
Wrath.
what the hell?
Yeah, and that was like the moment, that was kind of the Hail Mary moment from George, just saying, hey, I'm too far behind. I need to try to do something that's a little risky and hit a land drop. And I agree. I think you had to do it.
I'm mad for
the
it.
fail-safe is you lose the game when you don't hit it, because I think there's a disdainful stroke. There's no
Yeah.
get lost. There's no castables from George. So, I mean, I think Andy gets to go warp a harmonizer, play a land, and then play Ice Till and get 4 land drops, and
Good Lord.
give the Saz's Chocobo a huge boost as well as trample.
Yep.
And I think if Andy goes for it, it's GG here.
I'm going to cast my Ice Till Explore.
Here we go. Paying 2 for it. Coming
There's
out of the
skips on the-
airbended zone.
Yep.
And I'll fetch in response to the mill and the Earthbender essentially. Okay.
So stacking the triggers the correct way here to be able to get Earthbender Ascension up to 4, get another land in, and then you'll have 2 mill triggers. And then we still have that 1 more land drop.
Counters on the Chocobo.
Yep.
So 2 counters from Saz's. There's going to be 1 counter from the Earthbender Ascension put onto something.
And then counter. Yep. And I'll put that here. Chocobo.
Big land. Trample.
Looks like must not be
Online, no?
going for the Harmonizer.
Okay.
Andy taking the more conservative play. As if there was a get lost,
Yeah.
it would be a bit of a blowout if Andy put all his eggs in one basket, and he's not getting pressured, so there's no point in trying to go all in, so to speak.
Well, 2 massive tramplers.
Yeah.
Did a pretty good job here.
Looks like Andy is just diversifying his threats here.
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
that forest large, because the Saz's Chocobo's already gigantic.
Yep.
There'll be 2 more Earthbender Ascensions to put counters on.
And then I'll put the counters here.
Yep.
I have 2 minutes.
Good gravy.
Yep. When Mono Green Landfall gets to
Do its
go
thing.
unchecked, it's pretty hard to beat.
That's going to do it there. Andy Garcia-Romo picking up a 2-1 victory, advancing his record to 9-3. He's going to be feeling pretty good. And he's like, you know what? I got so close last time.
Yeah.
I want to go all the way this time.
Exactly.
Good
and
luck,
I mean,
Andy.
that's the thing is when you see players that get so close, they lose a win in here and there, it's just a matter of time before they get that another top 8, and then, well, they're just top 8ing every event left and right. So,
Friends, that's going to do it for us for this round. When we come back, we're going to be back at the news desk with Maria. We will see you, kitties, soon.